Hello there YouTube, my name is Chuggy and today I am playing some Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas 2 and Battlefield 3 for Question Time Part 40. 40 episodes guys, I'd have no idea when I started this this series would go on this far, but you guys keep asking some wonderful questions and setting me some interesting challenges and well, here we are. Today, as mentioned, you're seeing something perhaps a little bit different. Kicking off with some Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Vegas 2, a game which I've played an awful lot of. And I had a challenge set to me from Red Zebra 97, and they asked me on my own to clear the Villa map, which is what you're seeing here, on my own, on the hardest difficulty with the maximum number of terrorists in Terrorist Hunt on my own, and to try and do it in under 10 minutes. So this is what you're seeing now. And the second piece of gameplay you're going to see is some Conquest Assault on Sharkey Peninsula. No challenge on that one, but I've just felt it was a pretty damn nice game, and it was interesting to see that most of the fighting was done around one flag, and it's a real example of how when you're playing Battlefield sometimes that you need to be a little more, I don't know, almost looking at the big picture sometimes. It was clear that the enemy wanted to try and do A, B, C, D, E in that order. They tried that, it didn't quite work, they tried to do a few different things, but they got stuck at one place, and well, the rest is history. Anyway, enough about the gameplay. If you have any questions you'd like me to answer, be it on gaming, life, or anything whatsoever, how do you submit them? It's quite simple. All you have to do is leave them down in the comment section of the video, or of this video, and I'll get to answering it next question time. So with that, let's kick off with an interesting question from Eardrummer68, and they ask, would I eat a condom-flavoured pie or a pie-flavoured condom? And they need to know. Well, that was an interesting question, I'd definitely say that. I'm really not sure why I'd want to eat both either, to be honest. I'm not a big pie person, but out of the two, I'd rather eat the thing which is food, so I'll probably have to eat the pie-flavoured, the condom-flavoured pie. I don't even know what that tastes like. Probably very rubbery, not very nice texture to it. But nice variety in the questions, Eardrummer. Thank you very much for that interesting one to kick off this week. Next question comes from Chip Off the Block 99, and they ask, how mad do I think Kimi Raikkonen would be, in this Formula 1 question, if he ever heard over the radio that Fernando is faster than you? And how do I think that both Kimi and Alonso will get on in the same team? Well, this is of course the news that Kimi Raikkonen has been signed by Ferrari for next season for Formula 1. You've got, I'd probably say, debatably, two of the best drivers in the sport driving at the same team, and I'm sure there's going to be a bit of a clash there. Ferrari traditionally always has been a one-man team, and it's interesting to see, or it will be interesting to see, how two drivers right at the top of their game will work together, really. I think you've got to give it to Felipe Massa. He's played the very good sort of team role to Fernando, sometimes quite controversially, I think, but no, I think it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I think it's a good move for Ferrari, great drivers. It will surely help them get some more points and whatnot. Will they get along? I'm not sure. Two very different personalities and styles. We're just going to have to see how it all pans out in the wash. To be honest, we have no idea what 2014 is going to be like, new regulations and the rest. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens, I think. So, Chip Off the Block, thank you very much for the question there. Hopefully that answers that for you. It's going to be interesting times ahead for Ferrari. Next question comes from Super Duper Guy 00, and they ask, what do I think about the USAS-12 being a battle pickup in Battlefield 4? Now, for those of you who don't know, basically they're going to be special weapons or pieces of equipment scattered around the map while you're playing, say, Conquest or Rush, and basically, it's like a unique, if you will, power-up. There's, for instance, a sniper rifle, which is a one-shot kill, or now the USAS-12, which, of course, from those of us who have, of course, played Battlefield 3, and especially right at the start, the USAS-12 being fully automatic and a shotgun, obviously very lethal in close quarters. I personally think making it sort of a battle pickup, only something that, or only one of them on the map, or is a good move. I think it should definitely be in the game. It adds a variety. But I do think, you go back to those USAS-12 frag days, the weapon just was ridiculous. I think it's good that it's going to be something of a rarity. Because of its dominance in close quarters, automatic shotguns better than pump action shotguns because more projectiles downrange more quickly. I think that a battle pickup is a good way to do it. In fact, in general, I think the battle pickup is a nice addition. It means that you can have things like one-shot kill snipers and all the rest, and yeah, be be able to balance that out a bit with the regular weapons. So yeah, I think it's a good idea, and I welcome it, and well, roll on the beta, which will be starting in, well, less than 10 days time now, so woohoo! Yeah, I'm looking forward to it a lot. And actually, I should mention at this point, I'm going to the Eurogamer Expo again this year. I'm going this particular Friday. So, first of all, if you're going to be there, by all means, give me a shout on Twitter. I'll be hovering around with various people. And yeah, if you have anything you'd like me in particular to go and look for, or tell you about Battlefield or whatever else, please do feel free to give me a shout on Twitter or in the comments here. I'll keep an eye out and I'll see what I can find out for you guys. I'm really in particular interested to see what it's like in terms of netcode and bunny hopping, my two things that I'm looking for. I know it's going to be on a LAN, which means it's going to be a little quick, say, than your typical network, but let's, fingers crossed, hope that there have been improvements there and make the gunplay a bit more interesting. So there you go, that was very quick actually around Villa. 5 minutes, I think 54 was the final time. So Red Zebra, thank you very much for the challenge. I hope you enjoyed that little bit of gameplay there. Now, next question comes from Michael Elving, and they ask, what are my thoughts about Titanfall, and will I be getting it? Well, Titanfall, of course, is Infinity Ward, or put frankly, the Western Sampala, I'm going to get that wrong, the ex-heads of Infinity Ward's latest project, and it is out to be the Call of Duty killer, featuring mech suits and all this kind of stuff. I believe at this point in time it's meant to be a timed exclusive for PC and Xbox One, so will I be getting it off the bat? No, but the rumour is at the moment that it may come to PS4 a little later. To be honest, from what I've seen of it, it looks neat, looks interesting, but it hasn't really caught my attention properly, if you get my meaning. So it's on my radar, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be that vested in it. I'm hoping it'll be at Eurogamer, maybe get a chance to play it, who knows. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, it looks neat, looks interesting, not really on my radar at this point in time. So Michael, thank you very much for the question there. Next question comes from Lewis Williams. Actually, is also about Titanfall. Do I like the look of it? Answer that for you already. How about that? And they go on to ask, if I input one idea or give one idea to DICE for Battlefield 4, what would it be and why? Well, I've talked about it a bit in the past, and I'll say it again. Bring back the old school leveling system that they had in Battlefield 2 Modern Combat, where your experience, your consistency, and your ability to pull off some, pretty skillful moves and whatnot actually counted for something, rather than say a ranking system which, oh look, you've played the game a lot, you've got some XP, there you go, have a nice new shiny badge. Much rather, go into a room and see, oh look, instead of just half the team being Colonel Service Star 100, oh look, there is a Colonel Service Star something or other, that means they're pretty good to get to that level. So yeah, I would refresh the XP system, and perhaps even, lock the weapons to levels and things. So if you demote, and again, another nice feature of this system was, if you played badly, you demote, oh look, you lose access to some weapons or equipment or something. All the more motivation to try and get better. So yeah, I think that's what I would input to them. So Lewis, thank you very much for that question. Great question there. Next question comes from Mr. Trophy Nuts, and they ask an interesting question, which is, what do I think about Gamerscore / trophies? Of course, this is being a relatively, well, not new now, but new for the current console generation, to introduce this kind of, ability to track your progress through games and compare and compete with your friends and whatnot. Now, I must admit, when the generation started, and this is, when I picked up my PS3, my copy of MotorStorm and Call of Duty 3, I didn't really ever contemplate sort of competition amongst friends in the way that Gamerscore and trophies and everything are today. I think a lot of that was because, and whoa, I was lucky. I think a lot of that is because, being totally honest, it was coming from a time where network gaming was starting to take off. The PS2 had the network card you could buy. Not too many people did that, and as a result, there wasn't, say, a uniform ID system and all this kind of stuff. So I wasn't really expecting, I wouldn't say friendship. I was expecting to meet people and be friends with them, but not in the way that it's kind of developed and become today. And Gamerscore and all the rest is a really nice way to sort of add a meta level of amount of competition and whatnot to the whole sort of gaming experience, and I really like it personally. It gives you something to go for if you're a completionist, like I used to be when I had the time. Yeah, it's great to go, oh, I'm going to get a platinum trophy or 1,000 game score in this game because I want to show that I really enjoyed it, I want to go the extra mile. Going forward, I can't see it going away, to be honest. I think that it's kind of, I wouldn't say too ingrained, but a lot of people now go trophy hunting, gamer score hunting, because that's just part of the game for them. That's what they enjoy doing, and you know, power to the people. If you enjoy it, carry on doing it, and yeah, I think it's all in all a good thing. Welcome it, and what can we say? A nice thing which this generation has added for future console generations, and well, even PCs and stuff. You know, you got your Steam achievements and whatnot as well. So yeah, great question there, Mr. Trophy Nuts. Thank you very much for that. Next question, again, comes from Super Duper Guy 00, and they ask, am I interested in any Xbox games like Halo or Gears of War? To be honest, no. So I've played Halo, I've played Gears of War, admittedly, you know, not for any sort of length of session, you know, just, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 minutes here and there, when I'm at a friend's house or whatever else the case may be. And to be honest, it's not really ever done anything for me. Don't get me wrong, you know, both games are nice in their own respects, but if there was a game which really wanted, you know, was exclusive, say, to the Xbox and would never ever come out on the PlayStation, then I'd be a bit tempted to get an Xbox to play it. But to be honest, there is nothing on the Xbox platform now, or I don't think in the future, which could tempt me to buy a console just for that one game. I think I'm lucky though in that respect, because Sony, to be fair, has always been very, very good with their first party kind of exclusive titles, things like The Last of Us and whatnot, which always when they come around, they blow reviewers out the park, and they are genuinely amazing to play. And it just so happens that that's the platform I play on. You know, most games going forward, I'm sure, will become multi-platform, because, put frankly, that's just where the money is. And, you know, games are not cheap things to make anymore. You know, if, for instance, Microsoft or Sony were to get exclusivity for GTA 6, for instance, that would be huge. But Rockstar, I don't think, would ever do that, purely on the grounds of they would lose too much money from not being on one of the platforms. So, to answer the question, no, I'm not really interested in any Xbox exclusive titles. And the thing is, if there is an exclusive title that I would be interested in, it would be Fable, and that's come out on PC, which I have, and I would play there rather than get an Xbox. So, yeah, to answer the question, not really. I hope, I really do, that Microsoft gets some killer IP, and, you know, makes me think twice about this. You know, competition is all good, variety is all good as well. But at this point in time, no, to be totally honest, and I think that will pretty much wrap that up. So, Super Duper Guy, thank you very much for your question again there. Next question comes from Arsenal 2022, and they ask, do I think Nintendo will struggle to regain its reputation after the failure of the Wii U? Really interesting question, this, and I think really the Wii U's fate was sealed when they announced it at E3 a few years back, because people didn't get what it was. They thought, oh, is it just the tablet thing which I hold in my hand? Oh no, there's a box as well. I don't think there was something lost in translation, let's say, from whenever it was designed to how it was revealed and all the rest. Do not get me wrong. The peripheral, the tablet, has, you know, some interesting applications. You know, oh look, you can stream your game to it or whatever else. But the thing is, that kind of, you know, use for it is, well, can be easily done in other ways. Take remote play, which PlayStation are doing, or the PlayStation Vita TV, which Sony will hopefully be bringing to the West. I really hope so. You know, you can pick up your game on another device which has it plugged in, whatever else. Still to this day, I'm not quite sure what Nintendo were trying to do with the Wii U. The thing with the Wii, which I think caught people's imagination, was the fact that you had obviously like the nunchuck and the controller, and you could do stuff in 3D space, and games could take advantage of that, and it was something which people hadn't seen. And, you know, games like bowling or dance games or whatever else, it was just natural to do that, and people went, yeah, this is fun, I'll do this. And they bought the console in the droves, as we're all aware, and Nintendo had a lot of success with it. Whereas the Wii U, I think it's trying to play perhaps the middle game of being sort of something for the hardcore gamer, but also try and keep the casual game crowd as well, and it hasn't worked. So I think that, unfortunately, the console's sort of fate has been sealed. You know, various stores are no longer stocking it, publishers aren't developing games for it. It's unfortunate, because it was an interesting idea. I don't think that it quite had the right execution. But that's the way these things go. So Arsenal, thank you very much for the question there. Really interesting question. Let's hope that Nintendo's next console will bring something new to the party. So, next few questions comes from Trey Kuriba, and they ask, first of all, what is my opinion on Syria and what do I think should happen? I've actually had this question a few times in the past, and I'm going to try and keep the answer basically the same. You know, things are changing in a very dynamic way. And I think one thing you have to bear in mind with the whole Syria situation is that it's a terrible, terrible situation, first of all. Not because of people losing their lives and everything else, but it's the civilians who are caught up in the middle. You know, they've done nothing wrong, they're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And unfortunately the result of that is a lot of them are being involved in terrible atrocities, which, put frankly, is just terrible. And the biggest worry for me, to be honest, as things have gone on, from obviously everything kicking off a few years ago to now, is obviously we've now got chemical weapons involved. Now, they're nasty pieces of kit. There's a reason they're banned by various international convention and law. But what's even more scary is it seems that both sides are using them. Now, President Assad and the government have said, okay, we're going to hand over our chemical weapons, we're going to get them destroyed. Whereas the rebels, I haven't heard that from any news source anyway. Who knows what we are and aren't being told? That's another fact you've got to bear in mind with these things. But what I really hope is that some sort of resolution can be found quickly and without bloodshed, and even more importantly, without bloodshed or further bloodshed of civilians. You know, they're just there trying to live their lives in their country, and it's a real shame that, you know, there's been some grievances between the various sides involved. But let's just hope that you know, it can be resolved quickly and peacefully, and everyone can go on from there. So it's a terrible situation. No, I wouldn't wish that on my own worst enemy, but sometimes these things have to play out. I just hope that in this case, things play out in as humane way as possible. And as for Trey Karuba's second question, do I still have Black Ops 2? And the answer to that is yes. Fun fact about me, I have never and never will trade in any game which I've ever got. I've got every single game I've ever bought, given, or anything like that in between, and it will remain that way. It's funny, I actually went back and played some Black Ops 2 about, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and to be honest, I actually enjoyed it. It was, you know, just a change of pace, whatever else, but it's still Black Ops to me, and I mean Black Ops, the original Black Ops. It's still the Call of Duty formula, just reskinned for a more modern time. You know, I look, for instance, at Call of Duty Ghosts and what they're doing, you know, oh look, we've got destruction and things now. I kind of go, okay, you're trying to play catch up. The problem isn't, I'd say, in the feature set that Call of Duty's got, it's just that its style, its play style, the way that everything works, I think it's had its day. It just needs to take a moment, step back, refresh, bring something new as Call of Duty 4 did, and they'll be back in business. So yeah, I still do have Black Ops 2. Still haven't played very much of it, and you know, as something just to play as a change of pace, I would go back to it. But otherwise, no, I'll just keep it on my shelf. So yeah, there we go. Trey, thank you very much for your 2 great questions there. Next question comes from Abe Tor, and they ask, which do I play more, PS3 or Xbox, and why? Well, you could perhaps gather some of the response to this one from obviously my previous remarks about Xbox games, but I don't actually have an Xbox. So it kind of makes the answer, well, I wouldn't say biased, but as a result, I play 100% PS3. The reasons I've always been a PlayStation person, well, first of all, back when... when was I? 7, 8 years old? It was my parents and I, we sort of sat down, what would you like for Christmas one year? And I was kind of like, well, I was playing with the old school grey brick Game Boy, and I loved it. But the thing was, I wanted to play a proper 3D racing game. And you didn't have 3D racing games at that point in time on the Game Boy. In fact, you only really started to see 3D stuff until when you got the Game Boy Advance. The PlayStation and the Nintendo 64 were the 2 sort of platforms we were looking at the time, and my parents, I don't say they flipped a coin, but they sort of just weighed things up and they went to PlayStation, and that's just how I got into playing on the PlayStation platform, and never gone away. You know, I've always liked the games and whatnot. And Microsoft, although they came out with a much more powerful machine than the Xbox, they didn't quite hit the ground running with it. And the Xbox 360 obviously did hit the ground running, which obviously meant, you know, people played that a lot, and that was cool. Brought some competition, made Sony step up the game, I think, with the PlayStation 4. I think that's fair to say. And, you know, we're benefiting from it now. But anyway, this is a complete and utter tangent. So yeah, Abe, to be brutally honest, just the PlayStation for me. Why? I don't have an Xbox. I think that is pretty self-explanatory. Anyway, thank you very much, though, Abe, for your great question there. Next question comes from Infinity HD, and they ask, what has been my best moment in GTA? Well, obviously we've got GTA 5, which has come out last week, as it will be now, and goodness gracious me, GTA 5 is one of the best games I've ever played. I'm going to hold judgment on it until I complete the story and get a taste of the online portion once they release that, but good lord, what an amazing game. But anyway, As it happens, I think one of my finest moments or funniest moments from a GTA game has actually come from GTA 5. And it was just a pure example of how GTA can get away with some things where other games cannot. And that was, well, basically it was just a random event, which, I was minding my own business right at the start of GTA 5, and I went to go and get my hair cut after one of the characters suggested, hey, you should go and get your hair cut. So I go to the barber, and I park the car up, nice, and well, not nicely, I bump this car ahead of it. And outside the barber, there are 3 sort of gang types hanging around. They sort of stop and look at me as I get out of the car, and I go, oh, blimey, okay, this is odd. So I kind of go, okay, fine. Walk into the barbershop, and a little cutscene plays to explain what you do in the barbershop, obviously, and a guy walks out as a part of that. Okay, watch it through, fine, cool, and and yeah, as soon as the cutscene ends, I go to sit down, and these 4 guys, they rush in the store, and they start beating the hell out of me. One of them throws a punch, misses, hits the clerk. The pandemonium breaks out. The only thing I can assume is that that the car I bumped must have been owned or associated with those 3 guys, and they were not pleased about the damage. Anyway, so that all kicks off. I run out of the barbershop, and I'm like, I need to find somewhere to... And I see this building ahead of me, and it's got a little shoe icon above it. And I thought, oh, okay, a clothes store or something, fine, I can hide in there. And there's probably going to be security guards or something, to stop you robbing it or something. So I run in there, and it turns out it's a strip club. But the thing is, all of that unscripted, just random events, just GTA through and through. Unexpected, funny, and just brilliant. So yeah, Infinity, that's probably my finest moment in GTA, just pure randomness. So, unfortunately, time has beaten us yet again with these things, but after 40 weeks, I'm sure you guys will have more questions for me to answer next time. So if you'd like to resubmit your question, or if I haven't got to it, please do feel free to do so. I don't see this series going away anytime soon. So guys, as always, thank you so very much for submitting your superb questions. If there's anything you'd like me to answer, please do submit it in the comments section below, and I'll get to answering it next time. But otherwise, just thank you very much for watching. Thank you for watching for the previous 40 episodes. Glad that you guys seem to enjoy it. And yes, if you could leave a like, dislike, whatever you believe the video deserves, that'd be fantastic. If you're new to my videos and you want to see some more from me, feel free to subscribe. But otherwise, guys, as always, just thank you so very much for watching. I've been Chuggy, and I'll see you next time, out on the battlefield.